Hello, welcome back to Marta from Sparta. In this episode, we will do super fun Easter crafts. I cannot wait. In this episode, I will show you how to use paper napkins and make beautiful decorations for your Easter. We will make flower vases and Easter eggs and coasters and gorgeous candle.
Hey, but before we're gonna go shopping, don't forget to like and subscribe. Every week I will share with you fun and creative ideas on a budget. So hit this button now so you won't miss my next video.
Materials for this project would be Mod Podge. You can choose any Mod Podge, any finish. There are dishwasher safe Mod Podge, there is glossy Mod Podge, matte Mod Podge. Finish of the Mod Podge is up to you. We will also need a pillar candle, eggs, either real or fake. We will need the tiles for coasters, and we're gonna need cork pots and obviously vases and the napkins. So let's start with a vase. I chose gloss finish of Mod Podge for the vase, and I didn't use the microwave one safe because I always use my vases by hand anyway, so I thought it's not necessary, especially that the glossy microwave Mod Podge you have to bake. I wanted to skip this step. So once you decide which vase and which Mod Podge, you pick your napkins, and the napkins have two separate layers. You need to separate them so we using only the top layer of napkin. Then you need to cut out your design, and you should be as close as possible with a cutout to your design. You do not have to follow exact the line, but I wouldn't leave a lot of napkin around your design. Once you have cut out your design, let's put a thin layer of Mod Podge on your vase. And I'm gonna say this because I learned that I was doing it first time. So I chose like a pretty big design as you see. And what happened is the vase wasn't cylinder vase, it was thinner on top and wider on the bottom. So my design was pretty large, so it was keep wrinkling. If you would have a cylinder vase, you would be able to put your design nicely around the vase, avoiding like a tiny wrinkles. But because the napkins is very thin, I was able to work around it, and it came out great. The other tip is put first a thin layer of Mod Podge on the vase, and then keep brushing your design on top with another thin layer of Mod Podge. But do it always to the outside corners of your design. Don't brush it toward the middle, brush it toward the outer edges of your design. Also, don't brush it too often in one spot, because what will happen is very thin napkin will start to break. So you don't have to work fast, you can take your time, but make sure that the whole napkin or your design is covered with a very thin layer of the Mod Podge. On top of that, try not to leave like a Mod Podge streaks on the design and on the vase. So brush everything off and blend in with a vase, because you will need to put at least one or two more layers of it, and you really don't want to see a brush strokes on it. So I will keep working on my first bunny, on my first vase, putting really thin layer. I cut out a lot of tiny designs, butterfly around it, because I didn't want my vase to be blank in the back. So as you see, I'm adding tiny designs little butterflies on the back of the vase, so it's gonna look pretty from every angle. And as you see on the video, I'm trying to brush off excess of the Mod Podge and trying to blend in with the vase. And butterflies were way easier to apply because they were very tiny. There was no wrinkles, so bigger design is more challenging applying of the design is without creating some tiny wrinkles. So once I applied and made sure that there is no bubbles and I covered the whole design with a Mod Podge, you have to leave your project to dry if you're using the same Mod Podge I did for 30 minutes before you're gonna apply second coat.
So I put a first coat and now I'm actually applying a second coat. Directions on the Mod Podge says that additional coat every 30 minutes. So the first coat is completely dry. I'm gonna add a second coat, wait 30 minutes and see how's that gonna look like. If I will decide that I want one more coat, then I will. If not, I'm gonna stop after 2 coats.
Second vase I decided to do using color bunnies and some branches and flowers, and I want both vases to complement each other, so when they're gonna sit together on the table they're gonna look very pretty together. So this vase was exactly the same shape as the other one. It was kind of cylinder but was thinner on top and wider on the bottom. But I didn't face the same issue like design wrinkling like with the first vase, because first of all I applied smaller designs. Bunnies were way smaller, so there was no wrinkling reason here. And I applied them pretty often and close to each other, but again, just because designs were way smaller than original vase I was making, there was no wrinkling issue, and I also had easier time to apply it overall. Again, please remember not to brush over design too many times because napkin is very thin, and if you're gonna keep rubbing over and over again, you're gonna rip the napkin and you're gonna brush off the color, and or you're gonna either kind of like make a hole in your design. At some point I decided that I don't like the flower which I applied on the vase, and as long as the Mod Podge is wet, you can remove your design and apply something different. As you see, I just used the tweezers, I picked up the design, I wiped the area, applied another layer of Mod Podge, and add another design which I thought is gonna look better in my eyes, obviously. So as long as Mod Podge is wet, you can change your mind. I have to admit that it's super fun project, and after all, after applying few layers of Mod Podge, it really looks like these designs are painted on the vases. It looked incredible, and I really love that. And I have another project in the future which gonna be also involving paper napkins. It's going to be summer kitchen accessories and decorations. You will see it's gonna come, the video will be ready soon, but I will be using almost the same technique to create fun kitchen accessories and decorations. And this is incredibly also fun project to do with your kids. I think it's super easy. You just need a paintbrush and the vases. I got my vases, by the way, in dollar store. So it could be coffee cup, it could be mug. And remember, if you're gonna be using coffee cup or mug, you can use the microwave dishwasher safe, the Mud Patch, the one which you saw on the video, which I was presenting. It has blue container, blue label, and it's dishwasher and microwave safe. The only difference with the microwave dishwasher safe Mud Patch, as I mentioned before, you have to bake your design. And I thought that since I don't really put my flower vases in the dishwasher, I wash them by hand, this is really unnecessary step for me. Remember to brush off excess of a Mud Patch from your vase and not leave a brush strokes if you can. I was using very soft brush, so it's very easy for me to apply the Mud Patch. And here we go. It's not really perfect video. I couldn't get it in focus, but it came out awesome, and it's only first layer, and I'm gonna add additional layer after 30 minutes. And now it's time to do eggies. And eggies, you can either use the real eggs or you can use wood eggs, which I purchased on Amazon. I also came up with idea using paper, toilet paper inside to hold the eggs for me, because it was really challenging to hold it in your hand and just brush the design on it without my fingers getting dirty and covered with a Mud Patch. So I cut tiny slices and then I put an egg in it, which was holding for me when I was applying design. And those eggs I purchased on Amazon. It was 8 of them in the package. I believe it was around $7. And I didn't want to do the real eggs because I want to save them year after year. So that's why I chose wood eggs. And Amazon also have white color, they have brown color eggs. You can choose whatever you want. In the beginning, I wanted to use this blue design bunnies, but then I figured out they're gonna be way too big for my eggies. So also pay attention when you're buying your napkins. Think what you're gonna use the napkins for. If you're gonna be using napkins for larger objects, obviously you can buy napkins with bigger designs. But if you're planning to do eggs with your children or by yourself, pay attention to the size of the designs on your napkins. Because as you see, I was planning to do the blue bunnies, and I have to kind of change my strategy because blue bunnies were way too big for my eggs. It was okay for me to change what I wanted to do because I also have coasters to do and the candle to do. So I kind of switch my napkins and instead of using those bunnies on the coasters, I use them on the eggs, and the blue bunnies I'm gonna use on the coasters. And it actually worked out perfectly, I have to admit. I like the eggs with those designs way better than with probably blue bunnies. But yes, pay attention, that's another tip, how big designs or your napkins are. Because as you saw on a first vase, my bunny was huge, so it was perfect for the vase, but there was no way I could apply this bunny on the coaster or eggs or anything, or the candle. It would be also way too big for the candle. So it's same idea with the eggs. You basically put thin cover of Mud Patch on the egg first, then you brush your design on it and put like very thin layer of the Mud Patch on top of it. You let it dry for 30 minutes and you go with the second coat. And it's again same idea as it was with the vase. egg is not perfect cylinder, so your design, even small design, will have tiny wrinkles because obviously the shape of the egg, but they are so micro wrinkles that you can't really see them. The only thing you need to do is make sure you're brushing away from the middle, not toward the middle, and make sure that all edges are nicely covered with a matte patch so nothing gonna start to peel off. And I have to give myself tap on the shoulder for coming up with this idea using toilet paper roll to hold my eggs. It was lifesaver. It was so easy. It held my eggs. So it was just perfect idea. And that's how they came up. And it's time to make our coasters. Coasters were super easy. First of all, they were flat and it was just like applying a little bit matte patch on the tile and then brushing bunny on top of it with the thin layer of matte patch. Same rule apply, brush off nicely and blend in the matte patch to the rest of the tiles so you have very smooth even edges and there is no brush strokes. I bought 4 square white tiles in the Home Depot and I have a little bit like a marble pattern on them. I tried to get with typical white, but I really didn't like how just typical white tile looked like, so I got a marble square tiles and it worked out perfectly. And I think that was the easiest. There was no issues with the wrinkles, flat surface, just brush nicely, very thin layer, blend in, leave it for 30 minutes to dry, apply second layer, and you are good to go. And I decided to put 4 different bunnies on 4 different tiles. So I was very proud of this, and actually, as I mentioned before, I really liked how it worked out because originally I was planning to put brown bunnies on the tiles and blue bunnies on the eggs, but then since they didn't fit, I had to change my idea, and I actually love the way, and I love that it didn't work out because I love 4 different tiles and they kind of gonna be one set. And I think on the tiles I will also put more layers of matte patch just because we're gonna put hot tea, hot coffee on it. So I just want to make sure that my tile gonna last very long time. I'm also considering putting 1 layer of resin on top of it, but this is optional step for you guys because I have a resin left over in my garage from my wedding project. I probably, after tiles are done and dry, I will probably put like a very thin layer of resin to protect them from the hot coffee mugs, hot tea, and so. And they came out so good. I have to clap my hands because I think I love them so much. You see tiny wrinkles on the bunnies, but they will be gone once the matte patch will dry. And here we go. Let's go to the pillar candle. So make sure you're buying pillar candle because if you burn the pillar candle, as you probably know, it just burns the middle. So I bought off-white, kind of like eggshell kind of looking color, which I regret later because my napkins are white. So yeah, I would probably next time, if I will repeat this project on the candle, I will buy white pillar candle instead of getting yellow or eggshell pillar candle. So basically what you're gonna do is burn another candle as you see on the video and just use the wax, hot wax from another candle to brush over your design. And it's kind of same idea as with a matte patch. Instead of using the matte patch, we're using hot wax and it requires only 1 coat It's drying almost instantly. I used very soft brush. As you see, the napkin just soaks the hot wax so easy and fast. And voila, that's it. I think there's no drying time here because it dries basically instantly. And the candle is ready instantly. I will show you also how to create your own design on the paper napkin and transfer it to your candle. So it's very simple concept. You're basically using the other part of the napkin, which you just peeled off, and you're gonna write on it whatever you wanna write on it. I wrote Happy Easter in Polish and in English, since we have a family speaking two languages, and I just wrote it with gel marker, gel pencil, and then I cut out like I did with the designs very close to my signs, and I applied it on the candle exactly same way as I applied it the bunny, using hot wax from the candle, and voila, you can write whatever you want. You can go as personal as you want. You can write names, you can write wishes on it. It's super easy, so sky is the limit. But this is also fun idea which I just want to show you. My sign is a little bit crooked because I was experimenting and was very excited to do that. But that was my first candle I was making. I'm really happy. So try it. And here we go. As I mentioned before, I decided to apply a very thin layer of resin on my coasters. And that's the finished product. We're gonna set the table now. I am very excited and I want to show you how I imagine my dining room table for the Easter, and I will set it up for you a month earlier. But oh my god, everything came out so awesome that I had to test it and I have to see how it's gonna look like. I don't have spring flowers. I didn't have spring flowers yet, but I have some fun Easter plants which I'm gonna put in the vases as a test. But I also gonna, closer to Easter, I'm gonna put a fresh flowers in them, and everything came out and dried perfectly. More layers of Mod Podge I put on the vases. The outline of the napkins were invisible. So after first layer, the outline of the napkin was semi-visible. Then I added more layers, and more layers you will add to your vases and to your design, the outline of the napkin will start to disappear more and more. So I didn't use resin either on my eggs or on my vases. It's only Mod Podge, and I'm gonna try also to do Easter mugs, but maybe later. But yeah, except of the coasters, I didn't use resin anywhere. It's just multiple layers of Mod Podge every 30 minutes. I also got this beautiful velvet bows, and I put it around the vase, and I think I'm gonna attach tiny bows on the, I think it's called pussycat tree, and I'm gonna attach tiny bows on top of that. But again, I'm gonna set up perfectly right for the Easter. Now it's still February, but I was very excited to do this project and show you guys. If you guys interested to do it with your family, with children, get ready slowly for Easter, because this year Easter is early. It's not in April, it's actually in March. And there is so many beautiful napkins out there. I have to tell you that the hardest part I had, it was to select my top 4 napkins, which I would like to use for this specific design. And obviously I wanted them to be cohesive and work together very well. So it was very challenging and very tempting to buy so many napkins to try this project, but I was able to go down to 4 different napkins, 4 different designs. But oh my goodness, sky is the limit. There's so many beautiful flowers, and you don't have to be bunny. You can have plants, flowers, eggs. There is so many gorgeous designs over there, and it's really hard to stop. And I have to say, this is very addictive project. I also have to add one more layer of resin on my tiles because some areas wasn't covered really well. But again, resin is optional for you guys because I had resin at home. I decided to use it. But this project is super awesome, and making eggs and using Mod Podge with your children could be super fun design. You can add their names permanently, or Easter wishes if you celebrate Easter. And yeah, I hope you like this project as much as I did. And I have more ideas for the house projects using napkins. Thank you so much for joining me this week and on this episode. I hope you liked it as much as I did, and I have more very cool ideas to decorate your kitchen for spring and for Easter. And stay tuned, and I will see you next Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
And hey, if you have expensive taste like me and you want to keep your bank account happy as well, this is the right place for you. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week.